Chapter 11. The Minimalism of Wisdom. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Leonardo da Vinci. At the end of all learning, there is clarity. At the end of all striving, there is peace. And at the end of all thought, there is silence. Not the silence of ignorance, but the silence of understanding. The wise do not accumulate, they distill. They do not decorate, they reveal. They do not seek to add more words, but to say exactly what must be said, and nothing else. Wisdom is subtraction, the art of removing what obscures truth. The end of complexity. Most people confuse intelligence with accumulation. They fill their minds the way collectors fill rooms, with ideas, opinions, and noise. But the philosopher knows, knowledge expands the mind. Wisdom simplifies it. As Seneca wrote, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. The same is true for thought. The more scattered the mind, the less it sees. Only when unnecessary complexity fades does clarity emerge, like sunlight after fog. In the end, simplicity is not poverty of thought, it's purity of thought. The Stoic aesthetic, clean mind, clean life. The Stoics practiced minimalism long before it had a name. Their goal was not material austerity alone, but cognitive and emotional clarity. Epictetus owned almost nothing, but his true freedom was that he was owned by nothing. He knew that attachment creates noise, and noise is the death of perception. To live and think simply is not to reject the world. It is to walk through it unburdened. You no longer collect, you select. You keep what strengthens the soul and release what weakens it. The mind uncluttered by excess becomes a mirror of the divine order. The silence beyond mastery. Once you've trained your mind to think fast and your tongue to move slow, you reach a new kind of intelligence, quiet precision. It's no longer about showing what you know. It's about radiating what you've become. At this level, silence is not absence. It's eloquence. Every pause, every gesture, every glance becomes meaningful. You don't need to prove wisdom. Your peace proves it for you. This is the paradox of mastery. The more you know, the less you need to speak. The more you understand, the simpler your words become. A sage speaks like nature, briefly, beautifully, and without hurry. The minimalism of expression. Words are tools, and the wise use few. Each word carries intention, clarity, and kindness. Speech becomes sculpture. You remove the marble of noise until only meaning remains. This is why Christ spoke in parables, why Buddha used silence as teaching, why Marcus wrote in fragments. They all understood that truth doesn't need excess, it needs space. Minimalism is not about saying less. It's about saying only what serves light. The fewer the words, the stronger the vibration. Intellectual decluttering. To reach mental minimalism, begin with thought hygiene. Drop repetitive worries. They add no wisdom. Stop explaining yourself. Truth requires no defense. Refuse gossip and argument. They drain moral energy. Keep your focus narrow but deep. A mind that knows what not to think becomes a sanctuary of lucidity. The Buddhists call this right mindfulness. The Stoics call it prosoch, attention to what matters. Psychologists call it cognitive economy. All mean the same thing. Clarity through focus, the geometry of a minimal life. Simplicity in thought naturally extends to life. When the mind clears, the environment follows. You keep fewer possessions, fewer opinions, fewer obligations. What remains is meaningful. Your home becomes peaceful. Your schedule becomes intentional. Your relationships become honest. You no longer live to impress. You live to express truth. Simplicity outside is the reflection of serenity inside, the spiritual core, emptiness as fullness. All great spiritual traditions converge on the same paradox. Emptiness is not nothingness, it's readiness. The Bible says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." The Tao says, "Empty your mind, and it will be filled." Buddhism teaches shunyata, emptiness as the condition for awakening. When you empty yourself of noise, you become a vessel for light. Silence and simplicity prepare you for revelation. Only the quiet mind can hear God. Minimalism as intelligence. In the age of over-information, simplicity has become a form of genius. To choose clarity over complexity is not naivety, it's mastery. Einstein said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." Minimalism in thought is not reduction, it's distillation. It's the courage to let go of what is merely clever in order to keep what is eternally true. Practical discipline of minimal thinking. The rule of 3. Never hold more than 3 priorities in your mind at once. Clarity begins when the brain stops multitasking. 2. The 10-word rule. Try expressing your thought in 10 words or less. You'll discover whether it's essence or excess. 3. The sacred pause. Before reacting, take 1 breath. That single breath cleanses the noise of ego and refocuses intention. 4. The empty moment. Schedule silence. Don't fill every gap. The most brilliant insights enter when you stop inviting them. The aesthetic of wisdom. There is a beauty in simplicity that complexity can never imitate. It feels effortless, elegant, alive. The philosopher's voice, once honed, now moves like clear water, transparent, calm, essential. No drama, no ornament, only truth. This is the art form of active silence. To think